and start really engaging with the thoughts and process we have here. It's really it's really great. It's really fun. The classes are great. If you want to take exercise classes, exercise is the only way to prevent falls. Anyway, this is presented by Villages of Santa Fe and AARP New Mexico. So we really appreciate their support with this. Hold on just a second. There we go. We really appreciate your showing up. Our meetings are confidential. We do record these, so what you hear and see is really we like to keep it together between all of us right here. Screen sharing for participants is disabled, and we will lock the meeting shortly. You'll be muted, but there's slides where you can unmute and participate. We will record this session, but we will edit all of this early on chatter, so it's just the session, and it'll be up online tomorrow, and we can send you the link to that. And so we just want to keep everybody having a good time and enjoying the participation. So what do we do at Villages of Santa Fe? We make exercise and lifestyle programs for older adults 24/7 through our online and in-person classes. We have a library of actually at this point, over 600 classes. And our goal is to keep our older generation healthy. And with that, we can put the immense talents and assets accrued over our lives to good use. So what is this workshop for? And it's one of the problems we have is that not only do we want to reduce falls, but we want to reduce the fear of falling and increase activity levels. And we're going to talk about the things that happen that cause this problem of this cycle of falling. And so falling is a vicious cycle. We have some myths about fall prevention. We'll talk about national fall statistics. We'll talk about statistics in our state. I know a number of you are from other states. You might want to look into what is going on in your state. Your local Department of Health will have those statistics. We'll talk about bad habits that increase your chance of falling. We'll talk about balance problems and disorders. Then we're going to do a little, like Maria said, we're going to do a little risk assessment. It's a really short 30-second risk assessment, and it's by age. So we'll do that in the middle of all of this. We also have a conversation about assertive communications, and that may seem not appropriate for fall prevention, but the reality is you'll see why it is. And then what to do if you do fall. So exercise and other factors to reduce your risk, the importance of exercise. Maria talked to you about core strength. My favorite phrase is make the floor your friend. If you can go down and get back up off the floor over and over again, you're going to feel more confident. We're going to talk about ways to be active, 4 types of physical activity: endurance, strength, balance, and flexibility. We'll talk about your barriers. Why don't you exercise? Safety tips. Maria's got a great idea about mindset. What constitutes mindset, and how does that help you prevent falls? We also talk about the other causes of falls: medication, vision, hearing, and nutrition. And we talk about home safety and gadgets for better living. So, Maria.
Okay, so impact of falls in quality of life. Falls with or without injury carry a heavy impact on the quality of life. So older adults may fear falling, and as a result, limit their activities and social engagements. That's usually what we hear from people all the time. So, okay, so according to the U.S. Center of Disease Control and Prevention, a CDC, more than 1 out of 4 Americans aged 65 plus falls annually. Falls are the leading cause of fatal and non-fatal injuries among older adults. So it's a lot to say about aging. So this is very important. So this is why this fall prevention for Ann and I come close to our heart, and we want to dedicate a lot of our time in helping people to prevent falls. Okay, so falls, we have found out that talking to different people in this industry, that is a vicious cycle. So falling is a vicious cycle of patients who are hospitalized for a fall-related injury. 35 will be readmitted for fall-related injury, and 5% will die within a month. This was done by Christensen Vincent in 2022 survey, Community Health Needs and Assessment. So if you look at this chart, you see like you have a fear fall, okay? So then what you do when you have a fear fall, you decrease your activity. So you stop going to places, you stop socializing, you stop exercising. So you start becoming like a couch potato. So decreasing your activity, what happened? You reduce your muscle strength, your balance, your gait, you have more difficulty walking with your very narrow gait, you have issues with flexibility, you cannot bend over, you cannot get on the floor. So all these things happen because you have decreased your activity. So you decrease also your functional ability. So decreasing the functional ability, you also increases your chance of fall, then you have a fall. Okay, so this is a vicious cycle. It's people that recover from a fall also continue to have that fear of falling. So if they don't change their mind, they don't change their mindset in their their activities, their chances of falling again is 35%. So they'll come back again, falling again over and over again. Okay, so this is one of the things we have found to the year's work on the fall prevention. Okay, so here, okay.
So we have myths about falling. Falling happens to other people, not me. Well, I will tell you, when you go in for your annual physical with or visit with any doctor right now, one of their main questions will be, have you fallen since the last time I've seen you? It's very important because it does happen. Falling, myth number 2, falling is something normal that happens as you get older. That the statistics say yes, but you can change those statistics by exercise and being mindful.
So number 3 is, if I limit my activity, I won't fall. Some people believe that the best way to prevent falls is stay at home and not to be active. So that's not true. Performing physical activities would actually help you to stay independent, as your strength and range of motion benefit from remaining active. Social activities are also good for overall health. And number 4 is, as long as I stay at home, I can avoid falling. In reality, over half of the falls take place at home. People tripping different things at home and causes. So inspect your home for fall risk. Pick simple things, serious hazards such as clutter, throw rugs, poor lighting. Make simple home modifications such as adding grab bars in the bathroom, second handrail on stairs, no slip paint on the outdoor steps. So those are the things we're going to talk about again later on, some home improvements and modifications, things to watch for at home. So the number 5 is muscle strength and flexibility can be regained. According to the U.S. Center of Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, more than 1 out of 4 Americans aged 65 falls annually. Falls are leading cause of fatal and non-fatal injuries among older adults. Exercise is the only proven way to prevent falls. So muscles, while we do lose some muscles, as we age, exercise can partially restore strength and flexibility. It's never too late to start an exercise program, even if you have been a couch potato your whole life. Becoming active now will benefit you in many ways, including protection from falls. Okay.
All right. So taking medication doesn't increase my risk of falling. Well, one of the things you have to think about is when you look at, and we'll talk about this again in more depth, but as we age, we increase the number of prescriptions we're taking. I mean, statins and blood pressure medicine, et cetera. And if you look at the side effects of certain medications, which like statins are so common for people to be taking. The second or third interaction you're going to see is either dizziness or fainting. So we'll talk about why you should be very careful about your medication and understand the side effects that can go along with it. Also, myth number 7, I don't need to get my vision checked every year, which is, again, a situation that can truly affect your situation and your impact. It can impact your issue about falling, because, and you can try that. The easiest thing to do is say, do this, stand up and hold on to a table or your wall or whatever, and try walking with your eyes closed. You'll see how difficult it is. And that's why you can tell that you do need to get your vision checked every year. Myth number 8, using a walker or a cane will make me more dependent. It's actually going to make you more independent, because as Maria was talking about, walking around Santa Fe can be what we call the trail of tears. Some of our sidewalks and streets are so bad, and it's really important for you to have good balance, but also rely on, if your doctor has prescribed an assistant device, be sure to use it. It's really important.
So now the number 9 is, I don't need to talk to my family members or my healthcare provider if I am concerned about my risk of falling. I don't want to alarm them. I want to keep my independence. So in reality, fall prevention is a team effort. So it's very important for you to bring it up to your doctor, family members, or anyone else who is in position to help you. They wanted to help you to maintain your mobility and reduce your risk of fall. So don't be afraid of discussing with family members or your doctor. They're working as a team, and they can help you to prevent falls.
So we'll talk a little bit why nationally, why fall prevention is so important. Unintentional falls are the leading cause of injury and injury death among older adults 65 and older in the US and in New Mexico. Over 50 billion is spent on medical costs each year in the US. And that's just the money. That doesn't count all the other resources that it takes to, if you fall and you're injured, you are out of commission. You've got somebody taking care of you. You've got somebody coming to your home and cooking and cleaning and getting you to your appointments. So, you can double or triple that number based on the total amount of resources. And so many falls are preventable. And we will also discuss today is falls are the most common cause of older adult traumatic brain injury, TBI, and accounts for over 46% of fatal falls. And this information was just released this last month by the New Mexico Department of Health.
Okay, so falls in New Mexico. This is New Mexico, but check your state, and see where you're at. This is very interesting information. So 1 in 3 older adults ages 65 or older reported falling. If you take a look here, so male is 33.1, female is a little bit over 33.7. So overall is 33.4%. So it's a huge number, even though New Mexico has improved their status. I think we used to be the 4th in the nation, now we're number 22, because of the efforts that they're doing in preventing falls, and with workshops and everything that we're doing to prevent falls. So this is a good statistics to know. We're kind of neck and neck with the man, a little bit over the man number. So here you talk about age. If you take a look in the bottom, 65 to 74, the green, see, look where we are and the number. And then if you go to age of black, 75 to 84, you see the black goes up and down, is below 200. So then if you go 85 plus in red, you see how high it gets, from 200 over 600. So then it kind of tapers down a little bit. So in the years 21, we reduced considerably from 600 to 400, but not enough, I think. So it's a huge, huge number in that age group. That's when we are more vulnerable. And even the 75 to 84-year-old is not a good number either. Falls is not good for any age, but this it tells you as we age how much we lose in muscle, strengthening, and how fragile we become if we don't take care of our health.
And I think it's interesting, when we ran a survey earlier this year, about 22.5% of our participants are over 85. So we love that number.
Okay, so balance problems and disorders. So we talk about balance is a combination of three systems: vision, proprioception, vestibular. Proprioception is a perception of awareness of the position, movement of the body. It's the ability of your brain to communicate with your muscles. So what makes you to walk and move is not your muscle. It's not your skeleton. It's your muscle commanded by the brain. So that's one. And the vestibular is relating to vestibule, to your inner ear. Also, is more generally the sense of balance. So if you have an inner ear issue, like people with, or what do you call, vertigo, vestibular hyperfunction, stroke, those are the things that affect your vestibular, your hearing. That's what Anne talked about. She'll show that again about people with the hearing issue should using a hearing device, because also help with the balance. And the proprioception is we lose that if you have a neuropathy, people with a lumbar spine injury, also loss of lower leg sensation, surgeries on ankles and knees, that affects that issue with the communication between your brain and your muscles. Okay, so those are the also decreasing muscular power. So muscular power is the amount of force produced in a given amount of time, okay? And muscle power declines earlier and faster with age versus strength and endurance. So strength is more measures how much force your muscle can produce, okay? So in the power of the muscle is sometimes referred to as an explosive strength, and can be described as the amount of work performed over a given period of time. So those two things, strength and power in the muscle, is a very, very, very important there. Okay, so let me see what else we talk about here. Also, your confidence, also your flexibility, also can have a big influence on your falls. So this is one of the things we will continue to talk about. So what happens when a center of gravity change in our body? So those are the things that happen. If you walk in and something happen, a combination of those three systems, plus the center of gravity has changed when those three systems are not working together. If one of those three systems has an issue, they're not working together, so the gravity in your center of gravity in your body changes, and that's when you will have a fall, okay? Hopefully I explained that okay. Second one. So how we know you have a balance problem? So the question is to ask yourself, do you feel unsteady? Do you feel like if the room is spinning around me, even only for brief periods of time? Do I lose my balance and fall? Do I feel as I am falling? Do I feel lightheaded? Or if I might faint? Does my vision become blurred? All the things that can cause issues with balance, that can cause issues with falls. So those are the things you can ask yourself, those questions. The next one in. Okay, so as we live our daily lives, I always tell people, we create habits, what I call bad habits, that can increases your chance of falls. So what we're going to do, I'm going to read some things here. Then I want you to write it down, things that you do do that applies to you. Okay, so get a piece of paper and pen to write this down. Then we're gonna see, maybe we can discuss a little bit in this, what for you, what puts you at risk of falling. So I take time to exercise. Yes or no, whatever you want to write there. If you exercise every day is fine. If you don't, then that's something to think about it. Do I have a friend or a relative or a neighbor who checks on me by phone or by in person, constantly, like regularly? Do I take my time when I move from sitting to a standing position? So people sometimes they get up too quick. So do you take your time? Let your brain really get your blood flowing correctly. I take my time getting out of bed. I don't rush out in the morning. I just take my time. I pay close attention to whatever I'm doing. So just things for you to notice. I take it easy on days when I don't feel like myself. I use an elevator instead of stairs if an elevator is available. There's nothing wrong to taking elevators, guys. Sometimes it's the best to do that. So that's another thing to think about it. I avoid walking on wet or slippery surface or take other paths if it's necessary. Okay, I turn on light when I enter a dark room. Remember, changing in visual, go from light to dark. That's affect your vision. I avoid, okay, when I leave a doctor's office, I understand instructions clearly about my medication, what I need to do. I know whenever not the medicines I'm taking increase my risk of falling. Then I wipe up any spills quickly, especially on the floor, anything that gets on the floor. So I clean that up. I avoid walking around in flip-flop and slippers or flip-flops. Floppy slippers or flip-flops. I was guilty of that one time. People use those flip-flops a lot, and that caused a lot of falls. When I'm carrying things, I leave one arm free to hold on to railings or stable furniture for support, even though this may mean twice the number of trips. So people have a tendency, if they have a stairs and they go up in the stair, they're trying to take everything that's down below up in the second floor and not having their hand that's free. Also in groceries, out of the car, trying to bring so many bags and don't have that free hand in case they need to hold into something. So that's a very good one here. I hear a lot of people with that kind of issues. I pick up anything I have dropped on the floor. The next one is I take my time getting to the phone when I hear the phone ring. Usually now with the iPhones, we have sometimes the iPhone, next to our body, but most of the time people that have a house phone trying to rush to. I take my time going to the door when I hear the doorbell or a knock. I use my cane, walker, or other piece of adaptive equipment as prescribed by my doctor or therapist. I use grab bar when I get in and out of the tub or shower. So some people don't have a grab bar. That's another thing to note. So those are the things that we talked about. Let me see if I find something else. I feel comfortable talking about falls with my family. Also my doctor. I feel comfortable asking for help when I need it. So let's do this. And can we just stop sharing for a second? And I'd like to see if anybody has identified any things in this list that we talked about, faulty habits, and what we need to do to change those fault habits. Okay? Can you stop sharing?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, then I can ask the question. Anybody here? So I'm gonna let you unmute yourself, one person at a time. and talk. If you found anything in this list that you have that you're doing right now that you might need to change. Okay, Debbie.
I'm doing all the things, but you're telling me when I get up the chair, I get up and hold on to the chair for a second before I take medication that makes me head dizzy and all those things. So I
Okay.
make sure my head clears it before I step. So I hold on to the chair, and that's what I take about 2 medication that makes my head go.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do.
Okay, great. That's wonderful. Okay, thanks for sharing. So let me do this. Let me go with the hand up. What I like to hear also is people there have the bad habit that wants to correct. Okay, Lane, do you want to talk?
Yes,
Lane?
one of the things that I
Okay.
have discovered, you mentioned flip-flops or floppy sandals, floppy shoes. I fell I was about a year and a half ago because I was walking around on sock feet. And sock feet on tile or wood floors can be really dangerous, especially as I was doing at the time, trying to be in a hurry because I just lost traction with the floor. So I would suggest, so now I never walk around in sock feet, even if it's 2 feet from a chair to, I don't know, get a plate or something. It's always wear shoes that have some kind of traction.
You know, the other thing
Great.
is that you have the socks that have the grippers on them. So if you like to wear socks around the house because it's cold, you can get them online, and they really do help a lot with, because I do have tile floors throughout my house as well. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I even write it over here in my list for next time I can mention the socks because that's pretty dangerous. Yeah. Also, what I did, some people like to wear, there is some sandals that's very comfortable that has the backing. So very important to have a back. Even if you like your toes out, some people especially for the summer, but there are sandals that have the backing that holds your feet together that you don't trip over. Great. Thanks for sharing that, Elaine. That's wonderful. Patricia, you want to talk? Unmute yourself.
Yeah, so I'm pretty good about most of the things except for making more than one trip, carrying everything that I need to carry. And sometimes I'll try to bunch it all into one arm so I have one arm free, but most of the time I don't. So that'll be something I will change, that bad habit, and I'll make 2 trips if I have to, or 3 if I really have to. If it's something heavy, because that's the other thing. Sometimes it's too heavy, and I have to get better about waiting to ask somebody else to pick up the heavy stuff.
That's great. Yeah, absolutely. That's very, very important. And those are the things, once I have found out, once you learn something on this kind of webinars and different things, you apply in your life because it's really, really important. And we don't know we have them. We just go along in our lives and you develop those. Wonderful. Thanks for sharing that. I think Erica, do you still want to talk, Erica? Erica was muted. And
yes.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. I have the same problem with carrying stuff up the steps and not asking for help sometimes if it's too heavy. This is the other day I had to carry like 2-3 trips, and I don't have depth perception. So it's kind of hard for me on steps, and sometimes I'll pull muscles or hurt myself because I'm trying to make all those trips.
So ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong for asking for help, right? Yeah, good. Yes,
Right.
it's amazing. Yeah, and I also one of the things that I find out from people that people had shared in other classes is, they don't have those in a tub or even in a shower, those no slippery rugs, stuff that can be on the floor, then you don't slip. With the soap or stuff like that, or grab bars in a bathroom. Those are very important. We're going to talk about safety in a house with items that is important to have. Modifications you can make at home very inexpensive to help you to prevent falls. So that's wonderful. Thank you, Erica. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so we're going to go back. If we don't have anybody else, we'll go back to to our slide, Dan?
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Okay.
There we go. All
We
right,
were
so
talking about
one of the things I mentioned earlier was assertive communications, and how does that relate to falls, and what Maria was talking about with that long list. The value of communication with your family and doctors and being assertive is a core communication skill. Assertiveness can help you express yourself effectively and also respect the rights and beliefs of others. But what I found lately is that it's so important when you go to the doctor and you have your list of questions. And the only way your doctor can help you is if you are honest with what's going on. So if you have fallen, or you're lightheaded, or you have vertigo, be sure to discuss that with them, because they will have thoughts and ideas that can help you with that issue that may prevent you from falling. I mean, you can also, like with your medications, you go to pick up your new prescription and it's changed or something. Assertive communications means you ask the pharmacist right then and there, what are the side effects of this? They give you this big piece of paper, but you can say to them, I need to have a consult. I need to know what's happening here. So assertive communication sounds kind of off the wall as far as fall prevention, but it really is right up there as an important skill.
Okay, what about if you have fallen? Have you fallen in the past 12 months? Or you injured? Or you afraid that that will happen again? Have a discussion with your healthcare provider. Those are the things that, so if you had fallen, one of the things that I'm gonna do at the end of this class, we're gonna have a poll. So one of the things that, one of the questions I'm asking, then I also have some comments. We also, we don't want to take a lot of time in here to talk about people's experience, but you can send in that poll, there is a comment area that you can share anything that you want to share with us, any concern that you might have, okay? So that'll help us a lot. So, Anne, can you move? Yeah.
Yeah, so one of the things that I'm really emphatic about is traumatic brain injury. Traumatic brain injury usually results from a violent blow or jolt to the head or body. Always see your doctor if you received a blow to the head that causes behavioral changes. Seek emergency medical care if there are any signs or symptoms of traumatic brain injury following a recent blow or other traumatic injury to the head. The next slide is going to give you an idea of why this is so important. One of the problems with TBI is there are no real outward signs in a lot of cases. In other words, you don't see blood, you don't see, a broken bone, but you may have a concussion. And what happens then, as you can see from this, you can get on the front of your head, you can get a blow to the front of the head, and that's a direct impact brain injury. Then what happens too is if you've fallen and you've hit your head here, then you have the acceleration, deceleration back and forth, your brain inside your skull. So not only are you have you damaged the front part of your brain, but then you're getting the deceleration causing damage to the back of your brain. And the blast back injury is just if you've gotten into an accident, something like that. But if you have headache or feeling a pressure of your head, temporary loss of consciousness, confusion or feeling like you're in a fog, amnesia, you don't remember your fall, dizziness, seeing stars, ringing in your ears, nausea, vomiting, slurred speech, delayed response to questions, appearing to be dazed or fatigued, you go to the hospital and the emergency department doctor will decide to give you either an MRI or a CAT scan. They're both used to detect TBI. And it's super important because you can say, I'm okay, I hit my head, I was just out for a few minutes, but what's going on inside your brain is this damage to your brain, which causes swelling, which can not only kill you, but cause, if you don't die from it, you can have severe impairment. And there are things they can do to alleviate the problem, but if they don't know you have a problem, they can't do anything about it. And I think one of the statistics that I had earlier was 40% of death from falls is from traumatic brain injury. So please just go to the hospital and get checked out. Okay, that's my mantra today. So Marie, are you going to do our sit to stand?
Yeah, just stop sharing, then I'm gonna move my camera so you can see me from the distance. You know what I'm doing here.
I'm going to stop sharing. There you go.
Okay, so let me see here. So get in your chair and let me move here. Let me see me here. So I need you to see me in my video. You can see me. Okay, so now I'm gonna move here. I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do. And it's gonna time. It's 30 seconds, okay? So here we go. So I'm gonna show you what we do here. So make sure your chair is not gonna move. So I don't want you to have a fall here in this webinar. So you just sit back and I'm gonna show you what to do. So and I'll tell you when to, and it's gonna tell you when to start. So you're gonna cross your arms if you can. You're gonna stand and you're gonna count 1. Okay, then you sit. This is a number 2. And you keep it going for 30 seconds. If you cannot just cross your arms here, you can, if you need a little support, you can do that too. Okay, but the thing is to see how can you stand up without having to hold on anything on the side of the chair or anything. So Anne can start and then let you know when to go. And then we start counting. Don't start doing yet until you're ready to start counting. I want you to keep that number because then I'm gonna give you by age group what you should be, the number, the bottom part of that number. So count when you start standing, the first time standing, and keep counting every time you stand up.
3, 2, 1, start. This is a very simple test that it will give you by age what your chance of falls are. Very, very simple test. We're going to stop in 4, 3, 2, 1, stop. There we go. So write your number down. I'm going to go back to sharing. And you'll see the chart. Just a second. There we go. You'll see the chart over on the right-hand side. If you're 60 to 64, men 14, women 12, 65 to 69, men 12, women 11, 70 to 74, 12 for men, 10 for women, 75 to 79, 11 for men, 10 for women, 80 to 84, 10 for men, 9 for women, 85 to 89, 8 for men, 8 for women, 90 to 94, 7 for men, and 4 to women. We'll have this in the worksheet that we'll send out later. So one of the things you can do is if you say, I'm not where I think I should be, I should be doing more, then start an exercise class, and then in 30 days, self-test. Let's see what you've done and see if you've improved and reduced your chance of falling.
Yeah, this is the average score. So below average, below this number, then your indicates that your chance of falls increases as that number is low. So like Anne said, the whole idea is for you to increase that number. Okay, I had a client that started with me. She was 79 and she was doing 8, and then she was like up 15 when I finished with her, exercising with her, and she was lifting weights at the same time. So it's so much can be gained from this exercise. Okay, great. Okay, some people are sharing here. Let me see, look real
Yeah.
quick. Did 12? Good. Wonderful. Did 10, 12? Yeah, Angie is in my class. Anna is my personal assistant. I call her, I promoted her to be my personal assistant without no pay. She always helped me with things. Thank you, Anna, to be here. Appreciate you, hon. Okay, so good. Good information here. Beverly did 11. Good.
All right, so now we're going to talk about the importance of exercise. So we've seen how where we are right now in your exercise and your risk of falling. So then, what is the importance of exercise here? Because as far as we're concerned, exercise is a life-saving program. And the importance of exercise. So we're going to talk about understanding the importance of exercise in preventing falls. We'll talk about the barriers. Why don't you exercise? Identify which exercises are best suited for fall prevention and how to create a daily exercise routine.
Okay, so we talk about core strength. When a weak core can undermine the motions that are part of your everyday life. That's by the Kaylin Collins, from a physical therapist from the Massachusetts General Hospital. This is one of her quotes. So the core, if you participate in my class, you're gonna hear me talk about it all the time. Hold your core, belly button to the spine. Why? Because that muscles between your chest and the bottom of your chest, all the way down to your belly area to the bottom, is all the muscles that helps your spine, that supports your spine. If you don't have that tight and strong, then you start compromise other parts of your body that are not, then don't supposed even to get involved in walking, any physical activity you're doing. So core strength, that's we do core exercise in my classes all the time. Even sitting, you can do core exercise. You don't have to be laying down on the floor for those, or standing, you can do those. Okay, so
And
core
Maria,
strength.
we're not talking about sit-ups. We're talking about many other exercises that
Yeah.
really build your core. And your core's not just in the front; it's all the way around your body.
Yeah, it just kind of supports the spine, the area of your spine. So holding the core, even when you walk, it's important. Belly, what I call belly button to the spine. That's what you heard of those expression all the time. So those are core strengths. Okay, ways to be active. So endurance is one of them. So try to build up 30 minutes of activity that makes your breath hard in most days of the week. Walking, dancing, biking. So it doesn't have, endurance is building your your heart, your cardiovascular. So you have the ability to do more and then do other activities. So walking for 30 minutes, even 30 minutes. Now I even tell people in my class, 1%, that's what I want, 1% of your day. So a day has 1,440 minutes. 1% is 14 minutes and 40 seconds. That's what I'm asking people. Every day, do something. And walking is one of them. You can even walk with your weights on your hands for strength. So endurance is part of falls prevention. It's another big piece here. Dancing, biking, walking, whatever you like to do that moves the body. So exercise strength, exercise build muscles. Even though as we age, we lose muscle, it can be regained by exercise. So muscle strengthening also can be like lifting weights, even at 1 pound or 2 pound weights. Work with resistant bands. We can use bands if people like better than weights. Doing gardening, digging and shuffling, climbing stairs safely, hill walking. I can show you some of the hill walking on your heels. It's safe. Make sure that you buy a wall or a chair. If you like to do dance, we can do sit. I usually do in my class like sit-ups or squats. I do some modified push-ups. I don't do normal push-ups anymore. I just modify. And we do little sit-ups and also squats. I do a lot of that on my Monday classes and Tuesday and Thursdays class. So those the way you can build strength in your muscles. Balance, simple exercise to improve balance. So join a class, a balance class. Also what I tell people, like you're in the kitchen. So stay by a kitchen counter or a bathroom counter or by a chair and put one leg up, hold up, for 5, count for 5 to 10, whatever you can, to see if you can do it. If you needed to hold on something, just don't grab it. Just put about a couple of fingers just for your brain to think that you are safe. So that's a way you can start doing it in your own home. Or you can join a balance class. So we have online classes like my Monday classes, they're free, and other classes that I teach. So balance is very important. Those are ways to be active. Flexibility, stretching, yoga classes, stretch classes, make it a habit. Your body will love the stretches. Flexibility is very important. Or you can do it at home. Sitting on the floor like this lady is doing, trying to move your arms toward, grab your foot, or moving your hips, flexibility in your hips, standing up and bring the leg to the side, or doing anything that you can think that moves your hips, legs, arms. Flexibility as a total, very, very important. Stretching and flexibility.
So what are our barriers to exercise? Well, again, we have to say that exercise is the only proven way to prevent falls. So I'm encouraging everybody to stop making excuses and, get moving to improve your health. As Maria pointed out, there are a lot of things that you can do from a chair. You can improve your core. You can improve your balance. You can do those things either seated or standing, holding on to a chair. So it's always modify, but just keep moving. One of the barriers is no time. So think about this. This is your life, and it's your decision to go ahead with healthy aging. And healthy aging means making some time for exercise. Too boring. Well, hey, next week, like I said, we have 4 free classes. You can try a whole variety of classes and find 1 or 2 that really are not boring. Or you can, if the weather is beautiful like it is here in Santa Fe, it's time to get out and do some walking. Too expensive. Okay, throw that one out because we have free classes. You can also, again, walk or garden or whatever. Too tired. Now, this is one that's one of these wonderful situations that the more you exercise, the less tired you're going to be as far as lethargy. You may have muscle and be tired, but that just means you're going to sleep better and you're going to feel better the next day. So we don't want to see you having excuses. Come to class.
So things you can do to make sure you're exercising safely. Almost anyone at any age can do some type of physical activity. Also talk to your doctor before you start any exercise program. Start slowly, especially if you haven't been active for a long time. Little by little, build up your activity. Also, if you have osteoporosis, they have to do some modification. Sometimes I teach classes that doesn't have any twist, and it's twisting turns. It's good for osteoporosis. So be careful. You know your body. Also make modifications if in whatever if you participate in a class like with me or any other instructor, or in-person classes at your hometown, make sure that you know what you can do and you cannot do what's not good for your body. So make sure you have modification, especially if you have osteoporosis. So those are the safe tips. What else we have in? Yeah, don't hold your breath during strength exercise. Use safety equipment, like if you like to bike, make sure you have a helmet. Drink plenty of fluids during physical activity. Dehydration can cause dizziness and leading to a fall. I drink a lot of water. I drink an average of 96 to 100, 120 ounces of water a day. Not just water, but tea. I like tea, so I make teas, decaffeinated teas, no sugar. So anything that keeps you hydration. I have a doctor that I go to, a neuropathy doctor, and he's big in water in hydration for people with arthritis, to keep the muscles moving and avoiding issues with arthritis. It said drink. Hydration is important. As we age, we don't get as thirsty as we used to when we're younger. So don't wait until you're thirsty to drink. Make a habit of having a big pinch of water or tea on a counter, any place that you can walk by and see, so remind you to drink and keep you hydrated. Always bend forward from the hip, not from the waist. Warm up your muscles before you exercise. Try walking, arm swing, side to side step. So I like to dance. So my classes all have a dance to warm up. So any kind of warm up that makes you happy. And then, like I said, swing your arms when you walk. Just kind of keep moving, okay? Make it easy. See if we have any more, Ann. Okay. So what is mindset? What has to do with fall prevention? So mindset for people think this is called, some people call attitude. Belief, demeanor, disposition, frame of mind, headset, mental state. So whatever you call, to me, mindset is more about thinking about ways that you can be thinking about positive things in your life. You think every day, get up in the morning afraid of fall, you think all falls all the time, and then what happened? You have a fall. So for me is to have a good disposition, good frame of mind. So what helps me every day is I do a journal. So I write it down, things that I'm grateful for. So start with a gratitude journal. We're so many things in our lives that we are grateful for. So let's don't focus on the bad things and the things that makes us uncomfortable, makes us sad. If you have a good attitude towards life and grateful for the things you have, I think life's a better. You feel better, you feel more energized, you're happier. So very, very important to have that attitude. I think attitude towards life is very, very important. And I talk about November is a month of gratitude month. Think about something you can be grateful for. I usually, during the month of November, I usually call the fire department and I talk to somebody, whatever, answer the phone. And I just tell them that how grateful I am that they are there for me if I ever need them. Or call a nurse or call a friend that you haven't talked in a while. So anything that you can do to be grateful and appreciative of other people will help you to stay healthy and happy and be preventing falls. So that's what I talk about mindset. So mindset tips to help to achieve success and reach your goals. So start the day with a positive affirmation. So I usually say, I'm going to have a great day today. I always say that every single morning before I get out of bed. Set small goals for yourself throughout the day. So let's say you have your agenda is full of things to do. So don't do that. Set up things that you know that you can achieve that day. Don't set yourself up for failure, like putting a lot of stuff in your plate that you know you're not going to be able to do it. So be realistic about your goals and what you accomplished that day. Be okay with changes in your schedule. Let's assume you set up for something that didn't happen. So be okay with it. Don't beat yourself up because you didn't do what you said you're going to do. Take time each day to focus on the good things you accomplished that day. At the end of the day, what I say to myself when I go to bed is thank you, God. And I believe in God, I'm a Christian. So thank you, God, for the day I had today, for everything that I accomplished. So take the time to focus on the good things that you had. Adopt the habit of writing down things that you're grateful for. I call the grateful journal. It's going to make a huge, huge difference in your life. Also, another thing that I tell people in my class, don't ever criticize your body for whatever is happening. You know, sometimes I have clients that say, oh, my bad leg. And I said, don't say that, your leg or the hair. And if it's not bad, it's going to become a bad leg. So that leg might need a special attention. They might need some love and attention. So just appreciate your body the way it is, even though some days are not as good as the other day, doesn't feel as great. So learn how, adapt to that a habit of appreciating your life and appreciate your body for what it is. Okay, let me see what else in we have.
Medications. So we're going to go to medications. So the quote here is no risk factor for falls is as potentially preventable or reversible as medication use. So what does that mean? It means that medications really have a big effect on the chance that you're going to fall. So, and the more medications you take, the more the chance of falls, not only medication, but then over-the-counter drugs or supplements as well. So 81% of older adults use at least one prescription drug. 49% of older adults use at least one dietary supplement, and 29% of adults use at least 5 prescription medications concurrently with non-prescription drugs. So what does that mean? It means that every time you take your medication, you have to be cognizant of what is it actually doing with your body, not just that medication, but potentially the interaction between the different medications. So, for example, you go to the doctor and they change your statin to a higher or a lower dosage. That's going to have an effect on what the side effects are going to be. Be aware of that. A lot of statins actually have issues with muscle cramping. Be aware of that. And that's part of that assertive communication with your doctor and your pharmacist. So if you're having side effects, talk to both people. And if there are side effects where you're really saying, this is making me really lightheaded or dizzy, or it's causing muscle cramps that might cause me to fall, then you talk to them and have them adjust that medication to reduce that risk. So it's starting to go hand in hand with that great communication skill that we've been talking about. This is yesterday. I was reading NPR and it was talking about hearing. If your hearing begins to decline, your risk of falling may rise. This was a research that was done just recently, shows older adults with a mild hearing loss are at greater risk, more than double, of falling. They're not really clear how hearing loss increases the risk, but it's just known it does. They know that it does. And it's known that falls are the top cause of death from injury among people 65 and older. So it says new evidence shows that restoring hearing through using hearing aids may be protective, especially when people wear them consistently. Yeah, if you have a hearing aid and you don't ever wear it, it's not going to help. But this was according to a study published this summer in the Journal of American Geriatric Society. Again, this was just released in NPR yesterday. So get your hearing checked. If you need hearing aids, the wonderful thing now, there are over-the-counter hearing aids. You can Google those and find out the ones that are much less expensive. I mean, it used to be hearing aids were $3,000 to $7,000. The FDA has approved over-the-counter hearing devices, and you can research those and find out if you need one, try them out, see if they work. A lot of them are, you can control most all of them through your phone. So you can control your hearing aid based on the type of environment you're in. And even I think there was one of the ladies that had a quote in this story was just saying, I've really increased my hearing ability by just wearing one hearing aid. So get your hearing test, and stay safe. Maria,
Okay.
you're on for hydration.
Oh, my hydration? Yeah. Well, hydration, 8 glasses a day. As you age, that sense of thirst diminishes. So even when your body needs to be replenished with water, you might not realize it. So persistent dehydration that causes difficulty walking, confusion, rapid heart rate, or other more severe symptoms can lead seniors in a hospital. Mix it up, make hydration all day event. So don't wait until you're thirsty to drink. Like I said, mix it up. If you don't like to drink water, drink tea. Don't at least, I start to stay out of the sugar business, so I don't drink anything that has sugar in it. And there is some, Amazon has some good electrolytes that's no sugar. You can put in water to give a little bit flavor, but also helps with keeping the hydration. Some people, it's different opinions about how many glasses a day. I drink an average, like I said, 96 to 120 ounces a day. Trying to my best to do that. So squeeze a lemon juice in it. That's right. That somebody just said that. Anna just said that. That's great. Anything that can make you drink more. So hydration, like I said, doctors talk about that all the time. It's really important for especially people with arthritis. Keep those joints flexible and hydrated. Very, very important. Also, it's confusion, sometimes affects your heart. So don't wait to be thirsty to drink. Just making an event every day. Just drink it, okay?
Oh, so another thing, as Maria pointed out earlier, about half the falls happen in your home. So clear the clutter, light it up, hold the rails, cut the skids, toss the throw rugs, and move it where you use it. In the worksheet that we'll send out later, we'll have this AARP list of home safety, which is a really simple guide to just walking through your home. One of the things we talk about is move it where you use it. So if you're constantly raising or stepping up into a step stool or something to get something high virtually every day, the idea would be move it to where you're actually going to be using that. So you're not having to get up on steps or stairs or whatever, or a chair to get this item. Light it up. I'll talk to you just in a little bit about motion detector lights, because I'm a real big proponent of motion detector lights for stairs and rooms where you have to get up and maybe in the middle of the night. So we'll talk about lighting it up shortly. Hold the rails. So a towel bar is not a grab bar. Towel bars will come off the wall and you will fall. Cut the skids. I think somebody talked about wearing socks and being very slippery, so be careful there. Toss the throw rugs. If you have some throw rugs, I mean, we're in Santa Fe. A lot of us have some very beautiful Navajo rugs. But you know what? Maybe they should just be wonderful wall hangings. You don't have to get rid of them, but you should get them off the floor. And also just use the pads underneath your throw. If you want them on the floor, make sure you use pads. Somebody mentioned to me that they were allergic to the latex pads, but there are felt pads that you can order from Amazon and have them cut to size for your rugs. And they do a really good job of preventing skids. Oh, let me go back. So we wanted to talk here, Maria, right, about identifying strategies to reduce physical hazards.
Yeah, we talked about, I think on that list that you see from the AARP, there is a lot of things in that list. So especially for home safety, so that you're not even aware, or it's so many things. You can rearrange the furniture, get, like Ann said, get rid of the rugs or put some pads underneath. Loose cords, phone cords, or no, well, now we have your cell phones, but sometimes we have lamps and different parts of the side that have cords going around. So those are very important. Magazines stacked on the floor. So those are the things that you have to watch for. Also, when you outside, a lot of people that I had talked in the past in our classes had tripped in a dog leash, walking the dog, and the dog goes around their legs and they trip over, especially if they have two dogs, walking two dogs at the same time. Be careful with that. Just kind of make the leash shorter as possible. Don't keep a lot of loose so you can trip over, or know how to walk the dog. Very, very important. Another thing that people talk about is garden hose. I had clients that was watering the plants and tripping garden hose in the backyard. So make sure that you're conscious about that. They are rolled up. They're not just laid on the floor. So another thing that we talk about too is also have on you your phone, because you never know when you're gonna have a fall. Hopefully you don't, but you never know when you're gonna trip. You're gonna need somebody. I had situations that people told me they are 45 minutes in a backyard, laying on the floor in pain and couldn't get up and didn't have any phone to call anybody. So make sure that you have the phone with you, put it in your pocket, or be conscious about that, even when you're walking on the street. Another thing that we talk about, if you have a fall in public, make sure that people don't move you, don't start, move your body, because you don't know what's going on. Just be assertive and say, listen, let me check it out first. Let's see how I feel before I move my body, because you don't know if you broke something, you're not feeling it. So be cautious about that. If you need somebody if you hurt, that you need to go to the emergency room, have somebody call 911. So be proactive on that. Also, be conscious about when you're in public, when you walk on streets. Those are the physical, usually something happened. We trip on something or slip on something. So that's very, very important to be concerned about that. So look at that list that ARP has and see what kind of modification. Install grab bars in your bathroom, in your shower, or in your tub. Also, people sometimes can get it up. They're on a commode, they can stand up, so they grab on the toilet paper holder. That's not a good place to hold either. So make sure you have a grab bar if you have difficulty sitting and standing on a commode. So make sure that doesn't happen to you. So be cautious about everything about your home and things that you can do to improve your safety there. Okay.
So one of the things I really like to talk about is just some very simple gadgets for your home that are really inexpensive and under $20. Most all of these can be ordered from Amazon. If you'll see that picture there, that's the entrance to my garage, to my house from the garage. And I have a step up. So I have a motion detector light that's on that step. So although the light comes on in the garage, it still leaves a lot of shadow. So that light comes on and it shows me exactly where the step is. Then I have a bigger light up by the garage door button. So that light set up, and they're just motion detector lights. They run off of batteries, and everything now is LEDs. So they last for a good long time. I have those small circular lights all the way up my stairs. So in the middle of the night, you don't have to turn on the big light in the middle of the hallway. Just every 2 steps as I go down, it lights the stairwell. And also the same thing, I have them in my bathroom, so I can get up and go in the bathroom and the lights come on, but it's not so bright that it really disturbs everything. The other one is a really cool one. It's an under the bed light, and it's just it's a thin ribbon, and it has little LED lights on it, and it's got a sticky on the one side. So you pull it off and you can run it along the underneath your bed. And then you have a motion detector sensor, which can be anywhere. I put mine up close to my nightstand because my dog was tripping it. So before I get up, I can just wave my hand and the light comes on, and you can set the timer for however long you want it to come on or go off. So that way, if you have to get up in the middle of the night, you're going to see the dog or the cat or whatever before you step down and have an accident there. We were talking about using assisted devices, and some people are like, oh, I don't want to look like an old person with a cane. So what you'll see around Santa Fe a lot is people using these trek poles. So they are walking poles. I keep those in my car. And, we live in the high mountains here. I mean, we're up 7,200 feet, and we get ice and snow starting about now. And it's really important to have that extra plant in the snow or the ice so you can be a lot more stable. I really like that idea. The other thing I have is I have what's called yak tracks. I'm not sure if I have a picture of that on this one or not, but they are wire pieces that go around my boot, because in the middle of winter, we'll get a lot of ice out on our driveways. And I just leave a set of those attached to an old set of boots. So if I have to go out and take the garbage cans out, or I want to go out and pick up the newspaper or whatever, those shoes are right by the front door. I slip them on and I'm safe going out there in the ice and snow. Just one caveat, you don't want to wear those on top of a tile floor because you slip. So come in, take them off immediately. But I love these motion detector lights. They're really wonderful way to go. We're talking about devices that will detect falls. And right now, the only device that you can obviously subscribe to the service of the fall detection fob that you wear around your neck, but unfortunately people get those, or their kids buy them for them, and they sit in the drawer. They don't wear them. They don't want to wear it. But the Apple Watch has fall detection. A good number of my friends have an Apple Watch. And if you have a hard fall, it can help you connect with emergency services. And what happens if you fall, this comes up on the screen. It says, it looks like you've taken a hard fall. You can either hit SOS or I'm okay. And if you haven't fallen, you can just hit I'm okay. Also, if let's say you have fallen and hit your head and you're unconscious, after, I'm not sure how many seconds, I think it's maybe about 60 seconds, it will go ahead and make an SOS call for you. So that's one of the real benefits. Unfortunately, you do have to have an iPhone to make that work. So right now, the Androids don't really have this feature, but I feel like in living alone, I really feel like it's a really big benefit to have. And also, if you fall, I had a friend fall underneath her car, slipped underneath her car on the ice, and she fortunately had her iPhone on, or her watch on, and you can actually hold one of the side buttons down and it'll make an SOS call for you. So she didn't even have to get up or even find her phone. She could make it directly from her watch. So it's a very, very comforting situation or device to have. What to do if you fall? Stay calm, be assertive. Take time to assess the situation, even if you're on the street. Check for injuries, breaks, sprains, blood, and take a few minutes to check your body for any pain or injuries. The common reaction is if you fall. We were with the dogs the other day, and one of the crazy whippets who runs around in circles like a madman clipped his owner behind his knees, and he just went down. He went straight down. And the usual reaction is, let me help you up. But he did exactly that right thing. He said, no, let me see if I'm hurt. Because the worst thing you can do is take somebody who's actually injured and pull them up, because not only can you injure them more, you can injure yourself as well. So you take your time, figure out if you did hit your head, you need to call 911. If somebody notices you've lost consciousness and they wake up and they say, oh, I'm fine, you go, no, we're going to call 911. Be assertive, be helpful, because at that point, you're observing and you are the adult in the room at that moment. People, I don't want to be a bother to people. I don't want to, oh no, it's okay, but it's really not. If you have hit your head, you lose consciousness, you have slurred speech, any of those things, go ahead and call 911. The emergency responders are just the most lovely people in the world. They want the very best for you, and you don't have to go to the hospital. They'll give you that option. They will do an assessment of you, and they'll say, they will make a recommendation. They're going to say, we recommend you go to the hospital, or they're going to say, well, you passed all these tests, so we think you're okay. But if they recommend you go to the hospital after hitting your head, please do it. It's super important. It may really, really save your life. So we're coming to the end here, which is great. We actually are on time. We would love to have you join us with our exercise classes. We've got Maria and Judith and Sharon and KK Taylor for online classes. We have Zoom classes that are fun and motivating. You can sign up at our website. We have 3 free classes a week, plus our other classes. And by the way, if you have United Healthcare, you probably are eligible to have a no-cost membership, which opens up all of our classes to you. So I think, Maria, at the poll, you can indicate if you do, we would love to see you at our classes. So Maria's going to put the poll up, and if you would, you can just answer the poll. I think it's probably 5 questions, right, Maria? Not much.
Yeah, not that much. So please do so. It's up, running. If you have a problem trying to find it, usually it's in a, and can you stop sharing the
Sure,
screen
okay.
so we can see? And then
Thank-
you can, it's under more. Let me stop the recording here. Stop the recording.